Hey, think about it. When a player scores a goal, his first instinct is to sprint to the sideline, jump into the arms of his teammates, and celebrate with the fans, right? Well, not this time. In one regional championship match in Brazil, in a city split between two clubs that absolutely can't stand each other, one player did the exact opposite. He walked away, crossing the entire field for more than 20 seconds. And what he did at the end of that walk became one of the most infamous provocations in South American football. A celebration so explosive it triggered death threats in a match where the rival team wasn't even playing. Sounds confusing? Don't worry. It'll make perfect sense in a moment, because this moment became so controversial that the goal scorer had to be escorted out of the stadium by armed police, surrounded by furious rival fans waiting outside, ready to settle the score. Our story takes us back to Brazil's second division in 2001, deep in the Amazon, where one of the fiercest rivalries in the country lives, Remo versus Paysandu, the legendary Rei-Pa. To understand the tension, picture two clubs from the same city whose fans can't even stand the sight of each other. Over 100 years of fights, riots, destroyed stadiums, and matches that feel like battles. The kind of derby where people say things like, "If you ever come back here wearing that shirt, we'll kill you." Not figuratively. Literally. But here's the twist. On this particular day, Paysandu wasn't playing Remo at all. They were facing Tunaluso, another local club, but Tuna's stadium was under renovation, and Paysandu wasn't allowed to host the game at theirs. So the Football Federation ordered the match to be played at Baiano's stadium, Remo's fortress, the heart of their biggest enemy. Remo loaned the stadium. That's it. No involvement in the match. Now here's the spark that lit the chaos. Inside Baiano, right by the corner flag, stands Remo's sacred symbol, a full-sized blue lion statue, their mascot, their pride, a figure meant to energize the home crowd and intimidate anyone who dares to face them. Even Brazil's biggest clubs show respect when they play there. But remember, this wasn't a Remo game. It was Tunaluso versus Paysandu. The match was tense, locked at 0-0, until everything changed. Paysandu's forward, Albertinho, scored. The stadium erupted, but instead of celebrating with his teammates, he exploded into a sprint. Not toward the bench, not toward the fans, but across the entire pitch, straight at Remo's lion statue. The Paysandu fans instantly realized what he was about to do. They climbed the fence, screaming, pointing, urging him on. "Do it! Do it!" Albertinho reached the lion, lifted his shirt, and draped the Paysandu jersey over Remo's sacred blue statue, the ultimate insult, right in the heart of their rival's fortress. Inside the stadium, nothing much. Tuna didn't care, and Paysandu's players burst out laughing. Outside, hell broke loose. News spread across the city within minutes, through early internet forums, radio shows, and word of mouth. Remo fans surrounded the stadium, tried to break in, and shouted threats. "If he ever sets foot here again, he's dead. You humiliated our badge. We're coming for you." For days, Albertinho had to be escorted by armed police. In a small city split between two clubs, running into the wrong group of fans wasn't just possible, it was almost guaranteed. The next morning, before Remo's match, angry supporters scrubbed the statue with caustic soda to purify it, a symbolic cleansing of the insult. Later, rumors claimed Albertinho only did it because fans dared him from behind the fence. Maybe it was adrenaline, maybe pride, maybe sheer stupidity. But one thing was certain, half the city now saw him as public enemy number one. He never played at Baiano again. Whenever Paysandu had to face Remo there, he was advised not even to join the squad, in case rival fans decided to storm the pitch. For Paysandu supporters though, he became a legend, the man who tamed the lion. While half the city wanted revenge, the other half protected him, turning Belém into a kind of football Cold War.
Que atitude, Albertinho, de colocar a camisa do Paysandu lá no leão, que é o símbolo do Remo? Eu acho que se o Remo tivesse nessa posição que ele está, acho que qualquer jogador ia fazer a mesma coisa como eles já fizeram. Então, acho que isso é passado já. Eu quero só jogar meu futebol e pensar no Fortaleza. Você arrepende do que fez, não? Não, não arrependo não. Não, não arrependo não.
Fortunately, nothing tragic happened, and over time the rage faded. 14 years later, older and far more mature, Albertinho finally reflected on what he'd done. In an interview he said, "I was just a kid. Today I know I shouldn't have done it. I apologize to Remo and their fans." Even today, fans and longtime followers of the rivalry still talk about that moment. Whenever the two teams face each other again, the social media pages on both sides get flooded with comments that bring it all back, keeping that legendary chapter of their rivalry very much alive. I'm from Belém and a Paysandu supporter, and I was inside the stadium that day. The crowd celebrated twice, first when the goal went in, and then everything suddenly went silent. That was the moment Albertinho started running toward the lion statue. And when he finally put the Paysandu shirt on the lion, the stadium exploded again, just like we had scored a second goal. I'll never forget that day. I was 12 years old. I lived very close to the house where Albertinho lived during that whole controversy. I remember he vanished for a while because he was afraid of being killed. That moment practically ended his career. His house was stoned, he received death threats, and he even had to go on TV to apologize out of fear. He only did that because the match was against Tunaluso. If it had been against Remo themselves, Albertinho would have never had the courage to do it. A simple, impulsive act in Brazil's Serie B in 2001, but one that remains one of the greatest provocations in the history of South American football.